Hi, good day everybody. My name is Bachri. You can call me Fachri, and I am a student of Chemistry Education Program, faculty of Teacher Training and Education, University of Maritim Haji, located in Tanjungpinang, Colonial Province. So basically today I'm going to pretend to be a chemistry teacher, which is using English to teach chemistry. So yeah, this is my assignment in chemistry learning in secondary school, coordinated by Assistant Professor Ardi Widhia Sabekti. So I can't wait to show you a video. Enjoy it!
Okay, can we start? Students, can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, students.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Morning, sir.
So, welcome to chemistry virtual class suggested by me. How is it going, students? How is it going?
It's going great, Mister. How about you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So, because of the coronavirus disease 19 or COVID-19 has been damaged Indonesia, including our city. So, I want to explain more about the COVID-19 virus in Indonesia. So, depends on kompas.com per 16 May 2020, the cases of the coronavirus disease in Indonesia, it's about 70,000 cases with 7,025 positive cases, 3,911 negative cases with 1,089 deaths. So what I want to say to you about this information, I want you to stay at home, do positive thing inside your home, including work from home, prayer from home, and study from home. Do you understand, students?
Understood.
All right, thank you. So before we start the lesson today, let's pray together. Lila, will you lead the prayer, please?
Okay, sure. All right, Mister. Before we start the lesson, let's get together. Pray finish.
Thank you, Lila. Let's call the roll. Atifa Agustia. Atifa Agustia. Hello, Atifa. Are you there?
Present, sir.
Okay. Mirna Yuanita.
Present, sir.
Okay. Lila Susanti.
Present, sir.
Natalia Octavia Tamba.
Present, sir.
All right. There's no absent today. So, class, who knows what we want to discuss about today? Who knows what we want to discuss about today? Students? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
What we want to discuss about today?
I'm not sure. Maybe we are gonna talk about acid and base.
Okay. All right. So, class, today we are going to discuss about the characteristic properties of acid and bases. Before I explain about today's material, I want to show you a PowerPoint. Do you see my PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, sir.
All right, students. So today we are going to discuss about the characteristic properties of acid and bases. Do you see my PowerPoint presentation? Do you see it? Hello, class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before we start our lesson today in characteristic properties of acid and bases, I want to explain about PISA 2018 studies. So this is a graphic about PISA 2018 studies. So what is PISA? PISA is OECD's Program for International Student Assessment. So PISA measures 15 years old ability to use their reading, mathematics, and science knowledge and skills to meet real-life challenges. So what about Indonesia? In PISA 2018 studies, so Indonesia reached for about rank of 70 to 78 in PISA 2018. What I want to explain to you about this studies of PISA 2018 is I want you to study hard, very, very hard, because if you love Indonesia, you should reach the rank of Indonesia in 10 or maybe 9, top 10, I mean. So that's why I want to explain about PISA 2018. So, all right, class, who's remembered what we have to discuss in our last meeting last week? Who's remembered?
We forgot.
All right. So last week, we have to discuss about theory of acids and bases. There are Arrhenius, Lewis, Bronsted-Lowry that will help you to more understand about our topic today. So this is a big picture. So before we start the lesson, I want to give you a quiz to enhance your knowledge. So for those who can answer the question, they will have a score for me. First question, who wants to answer? Why are acids called proton donors? 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who wants to answer? Students. Why are acids called proton donors? Hello, students. Hello? Students? Hello?
Yes, Mister.
Yeah.
Yes,
Why
sir.
are acids called proton donors? Who can answer it? For those who can answer it, she can get a score from me.
Okay, the answer. Acids are substances that can donate half plus
Mhm.
ion to bases. Since a hydrogen atom is a proton and one electron, Tec- technical and half plus ion is just a proton. So an acid is a proton donor. And
Okay, Mirna.
okay,
Thank you so much. You get a score from me, 100 score from me. So, who wants to answer the second question? Why can't hydrogen ions exist by themselves? For those who can answer it, you can get a score from me. 10 seconds. Nobody? Nobody wants to answer it? The second question? All right, I want to explain about the second question. So, why can't hydrogen ion exist by themselves? Hydrogen atoms can actually exist by themselves. However, they are very unstable, especially in the presence of water molecules as they are attracted to the oxygen atoms to form H3O+. So this is the answer of why can't hydrogen ions exist by themselves. So who knows what the picture of this? Hello, students. Hello, students. Who knows what the answer? What is the peak of this? So this is a peak of iron rust. So do you know how the iron can be rust?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how the
Maybe
iron can
iron,
be rust?
maybe
Mhm.
iron can be rust because of the sun.
Correct. Any other? Any other?
Mister.
Yes. Go ahead, Birna.
Maybe because of the rain, sir.
Oh, it's correct too. So the iron can be rust because rust occurs when iron or its alloy, such as steel, corrode. The surface of a piece of iron will corrode first in the presence of oxygen and water. Given enough time, any piece of iron will change entirely into rust and disintegrate because of the reaction of acid bases on metal. This is our target to focus on today's meeting. So today's topic is about the characteristic properties of acid and bases. So the learning outcomes, learners should be able to first describe the meaning of the terms acid and alkali in terms of the ions they contain of produced in aqueous solution and their effect of universal indicator paper. Second one is describe how to test hydrogen ion concentration, enhance relative acidity using universal indicator paper and the pH scale. The third is describe the characteristic properties of acids as in reaction with metals, bases, and carbonates. Fourth, describe the qualitatively the differences between strong and weak acid in terms of the extent of dissociation. The last one is describe the characteristic properties of bases in reaction with acids and ammonium salts. So this is what we want to learn about the learning outcomes for our material today. So do you know what it is, students? Who knows? Hello, students. Do you know what it is? It's usually in your home. Students, who knows what it is? Nobody? Sure? Hello, students. Yeah, so this is an orange and this is a soap. So I want to explain the soap and orange in the video. Wait. Right, do you see my video? Hello, students.
Yes, Mister.
Yes, miss.
You see my video?
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
so we can
sir.
start.
If we are given lemon juice and soap water in two different beakers, will we be able to list the difference between the two? Perhaps the list will begin with the different colors, appearance, and so on. But these are just properties that we can see. Are these the only differences? There are more. Lemon juice tastes very sour. Soap water tastes slightly bitter.
The video is explained about the differences between lemon juice and soap water. So the pic that I've seen before, it's lemon juice or orange juice and soap water. So the taste of the lemon juice is sour based on the video, and the soap water is tastes bitter.
Please don't try to taste it. Just trust me, it tastes slightly bitter. Is this a major difference between the two? Yes. Taste is an important parameter as it takes us to the chemical properties. Why does lemon juice taste sour? And why does soap water taste bitter?
Yeah,
Any
the video it's talk about why is the lemon juice taste sour and soap water tastes bitter. So here your answer.
idea? The answer lies in their nature. Lemon juice is an acid while soap is a base. Do you know what an acid is and what a base is?
Students, do you know what is the acid and bases? So the lemon juice is acid and soap water is bases. Any idea? Who knows? What is the differences between acid and bases? If nobody, let's watch the video.
Let's get to know these terms first and later get into the details. To begin with, we have acids. The moment we hear the term acid, something scary or something that would burn the surfaces is what pops up in our mind. Well, that's kind of true, because acids are known to create a burning effect of whatever comes in contact with them. They can erode the surfaces or burn the skin when they come in contact with it. That's how acids are. The term acid comes from the Latin word acidus, which means sour. Yes, so are all acids sour to taste? Yes, they are. The intensity of sourness may vary in different acids, but the overall taste of acids is always sour. The best examples of substances that contain acids include citrus fruits like orange, lemon, lime, and grapes. Now let's talk.
There is another example of the acid: orange juice, lemon juice, apple, and the grapes.
Now let's talk about the soap water. What nature does it have? It is basic in nature, which means soap is a base, or in other words, an alkali. What do we mean by this? For now, all we need to know is that the mild bitter tasting compound is called a base. Bases, when added, bases are exactly opposite to acids. The best examples of bases include baking soda, washing soda, quicklime, and many more.
There is the other example of the bases, so baking soda, washing soda, and quicklime. So that is the explanation about the picture that I've seen to you before. All right, so let's take a look at the PowerPoint presentation. Wait a second. Yeah. So what is acid? An acid is a substance that releases H plane ions in an aqueous solution. Aqueous means water. For example, when hydraulic acid is dissolved in water, the compound separates into chlorine ions, Cl-, and hydrogen ions, or H+. So this is a peak of the hydrogen chloride, or HCl, in the structure. So what about the characteristic of acid? So the first one is acid have a sour taste. Second one is acid react with metals and carbonate to produce gas. Third is acid contain hydrogen. Fourth, pH range is 1 to 6 or less than 7. So since testing or touching an unknown chemical is extremely dangerous, other methods are needed to tell whether a solution is an acid. So basically in a laboratory, chemical compound who has a characteristic of acid is extremely dangerous. So you need to check a solution in other method. So we discussed about the characteristic of acid taste sour. Acid in foods taste sour and produce a burning or prickling feeling on the skin. So the characteristic of acid react with carbonate. A safe way to test to see if a solution is an acid is to place a few drops on a compound that contains a carbonate. Example, this is a limestone. So the limestone is a rock that contains calcium carbonate. When an acid touches a piece of limestone, a reaction occurs that produces carbon dioxide. So basically when the carbonate is react with acid, they will produce salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. So you should remember this one. The reaction between the carbonate plus acid produce salt and carbon dioxide. Do you understand, students?
Understood, Mister.
Okay, thank you for the response. So the characteristic of acid react with metal. Acid also react with most of metal. The reaction produces hydrogen gas, which you can see as bubbles. So this is a peak of acid react with metal. So metal plus acid will produce salt plus hydrogen. So the bubble is the hydrogen. So the reaction of the metal plus acid produce salt and hydrogen. All right. So we have to discuss about the strong and weak acid. A strong acid breaks down completely in water and gives off many H plus ions. Strong acids are assumed to dissociate completely when in aqueous solution. A weak acid only partially break down. It gives off much less H plus than a strong acid. Weak acids dissociate only slightly in aqueous solution. The majority of molecule remains undissociated. So this is a big the differences between strong acid and weak acid. So strong acid dissociate completely in aqueous solution, but the weak acid is only partially breaks down. So that is the differences between strong and weak acid. So any other question before we continue to the base? Any
Yes, sir.
other? Okay, go ahead, Atifa.
Can give you give us another example of
Mhm.
strong acid, weak acid, sir?
Okay, thank you, Atifa Agustia. So the other example of strong and weak acid, the strong one is when you go to the laboratory, the chemical laboratory, you can see sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid. There is a strong acid, which is assumed to dissociate completely when in aqueous solution. But the weak acid, the example of the weak acid is acetic acid, lactic acid, and citric acid. Uh, that was I want to explain about the strong and weak acid, the example of that. Clear, Atifa?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna talk about the base. So what is a base? Base is substance that releases hydroxide ions in aqueous solution. For example, like when sodium hydroxide is dissolved in water, the compound separates into sodium ions and hydroxide ions. So when sodium hydroxide dissolved in water, the compound separates into sodium ions and hydroxide ions. So this is a structure of the sodium hydroxide. So what about the characteristic of bases? The first one is bases usually taste bitter, bases feel slippery, bases contain hydroxide ions, pH range of bases is 8 to 14, and bases can react with acid and ammonium salt. So we can um, explain about one more. Base tastes bitter, for example, like baking soda and soap. Mild bases in foods taste bitter and feel slippery, but as with acid, tasting and touching are not safe. Ways of testing whether a solution is a base. In fact, some strong bases can burn the skin as badly as strong acid. So be careful when you touch a basis in chemical compound in a chemistry laboratory because when you testing or touch it, it will not safe of you. So the second one, the characteristic of bases is feel slippery. Bases feel soapy or slippery because they react with acid molecules in your skin called fatty acid. In fact, his is exactly how soap is made, mixing base, usually sodium hydroxide, with fatty acid produce soap. So when the bases touch your skin, the combination of the bases with your own fatty acid actually make a small amount of soap. So this is the characteristic of bases. I want to explain about the strong bases and the formula of the strong bases. So Atifa, halo Atifa.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can you read this one? The example of the strong basis. Read this one.
Lithium hydroxide.
Mhm.
The formulas LiOH.
All right. So the second one is
Sodium hydroxide. The formulas
mhm.
NaOH.
Mhm.
Potassium hydroxide KOH.
Yes.
Rubidium
Mhm.
hydroxide RbOH.
Okay.
Cesium hydroxide CSOH. And barium
Okay.
hydroxide BaOH2.
Okay. Thank you, Atifa,
Yes,
for
sir.
reading this PowerPoint. So this is a characteristic of bases that contain hydroxide. The example of the strong bases like that, the formula is contain OH ions. So I have to explain before, uh, there is a reaction between bases and acid. So the reaction of an acid with a basis called neutralization reaction. The product of this reaction are salt and water. For example, the reaction of hydrochloric acid with sodium hydroxide. The solution produces a solution of sodium chloride and additional water molecules. So the reaction between bases and metal will be like this. Bases plus acid produce salt and water. Can you got it, students? Any other question, maybe?
Yes, Mister.
Okay.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What
What is
about
that?
the other example of strong and weak base?
All right. Thank you for the question. So the other example of the strong and weak bases is strong basis is natrium hydroxide, and the weak basis we can call it ammonium salt. There is a weak basis and strong basis example like that. We want to discuss about it later, Lila Susanti. Thank you for the question. So the characteristic of bases is react with ammonium salt. So ammonium salt react readily with bases to produce ammonium gases. For example, like ammonia is often prepared in the lab by heating an ammonium salt with a basis such as calcium hydroxide, and this is a reaction of bases react with ammonium salt and sodium hydroxide plus ammonium salt produce salt plus water and ammonia. So this is a reaction of basis plus ammonium salt. This is what Lila Susanti talked about, strong and weak bases. So a strong basis is one that fully dissociate to give ions in solution. A strong basis add all their OH mean to solution. A weak basis only partially dissociate in a solution, while the strong basis dissociate fully in a solution. A weak basis don't dissociate much less. So, I want you to know how to test um, acid or basis. Um, what is the characteristic of that? So, wait. So, students,
Yes,
hello.
Mister.
Yes, Mister.
Yeah, I want
Mister.
to prepare how to test acid and bases using universal indicator paper using natural indicator paper. So just wait for a second. Okay. So I want to explain about how to test how to test acid and bases using universal indicator paper, using natural indicator paper. So we have this one. This one is natural indicator paper, which is turmeric. Okay, so second one is water. Water, and then this is a vinegar. This is apple juice. This is an orange juice. And this is a soap solution. So I want to test how to test acid and bases using natural indicator paper. We have turmeric in this section. So for the first is pipette 1 ml of turmeric into a vessel like this. All right. After that, we can test the distilled water first. When we touch with the turmeric, look, there is no differences because the characteristic of the distilled water is natural. The pH range is about 7. So there is no differences color as in reaction with turmeric and distilled water. So what about the vinegar? So we can test. Okay, the vinegar one is, this is a vinegar, by the way, so we can test it. Okay. So can you see the differences between that? So this is called acid because of the differences between the distilled water and the vinegar. This is an acid. So what about the apple juice. The differences between the distilled water and vinegar. It's called acid. So let's check about the orange juice. Yeah, of the orange at the soap. So there orange juice and about any other. Hello students, Lila.
Sir.
Hello Lila, Atifa,
Yes, sir.
Mirna. Any other question? Any other question?
Me, sir.
What, Atifa?
No, Lila.
Okay, Lila, go ahead, Lila.
Okay, Mister. What is the natural tooth that can be used as natural indicator, sir?
Okay, thank you for the question, Lila. So there are more the natural stuff that can be used as a natural indicator. So turmeric and all the flowers that contains a color can be a natural indicator as long as we can see the differences between that. So my answer is all of the flowers that contain a color can be a natural indicator as long as we can see the differences between that. That's all, Lila Susanti. Thank you for your question. So after you saw my demonstration about identify acid and bases using natural indicator paper, I would like you to identify acid and bases but using universal indicator paper. The characteristic of acid and bases using universal indicator paper. Each shift of group, I will give you a worksheet about identify acid and bases using universal indicator paper. So this is the worksheet about defining acid and bases using universal indicator paper as your home project. So you can read the worksheet about identify acid and bases in your home. So this is a lab activity. What will you gonna do for the material today to identify acid and bases using universal indicator paper? So you can answer the question in that. Are you understand, students?
Understood, Mister.
Yes, sir, Mister.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So please prepare all of your equipments and material to identify acid and bases using indicator universal paper based on the worksheet. Fill the question and make a conclusion about what you have to identify. Then present in front of the class in the next meeting. Okay, to enhance your knowledge and capacity to understand the topics of our discussion today, I would like you to answer the multiple choice and essay test. I will give you 10 minutes to solve that question. So here's the exercise of today's meeting. So for those who can answer the first question, she can get a score for me. Okay. Who wants to answer the first question?
Me, Mister.
Okay. What is the effect of the basis on red litmus paper, Mirna? What is the answer?
The answer is A. It's turned blue, Mister.
Okay, great, Mirna. Thank you. The second question.
Me, sir.
Who wants to answer it?
Me, sir.
Okay, Atifa. Go ahead.
Uh,
Go ahead, Atifa.
The answer is C, sir. Acid salt.
Okay. Acid salt. It's true. Correct. Who wants to answer the third question? Kazi and Priya want to prepare dill sulfuric acid. Who wants to answer it?
Me, Mister.
Okay. Who is that? Lila?
Natalia.
Natalia?
Yes, Mister.
Okay, Natalia. Go ahead.
Then the answer, then number 4, Number three, Casey was correct. If water is added to a concentrate acid, the heat generated may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns. The glass container may also break due to excessive local heating.
All right, thank you, Natalia. It's correct. So Kazi was correct. If water is added to a concentration acid, the heat generated may cause the mixtures to splash out and cause burns. The glass container may also break due to excessive local heating. So the fourth question is we can skip it because the reaction is too difficult to you to identify. So we can answer the fifth question. Who wants to answer it? The fifth question. Compound P forms enamel of teeth. It is the hardest substance of the body. It does not dissolve in water, but it is corroded when pH in the mouth is below 5.5. How does toothpaste prevent dental decay? Want to answer it? The fifth question. Lila? Please answer the fifth question. Halo, Lila? Mirna? Who wants to answer the fifth question? Hello, students.
Yes.
Hello? All right, Mirna, go ahead to answer the fifth question. What is the answer?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know? Okay, who wants to answer the fifth question? Atifa? Lila?
Sir.
I don't know.
Okay, who's that? Lila?
Yes, mister, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. In fifth question, bacteria present in the mouth produce acid by degradation of sugar and food particles remaining in the mouth after eating. Using toothpaste which are generally basic for cleaning the teeth can neutralize the excess acid and prevent tooth decay. So the compound P forms for enamel of teeth is Ca3PH4 2. That is a compound of a P compound. What about the 6 and 7 question? Who wants to answer it? The 6 and 7 question. Who wants to answer it? Nobody?
Me seven, sir.
Okay.
Number seven.
Go ahead, Natalia.
Natalia, sir.
Okay.
Now the
Okay.
answer number seven is pH of A will be less than 7 and that of B will be more than 7.
Okay, great, Natalia. Thank you for
Well,
answering my question. So it's correct in the seventh question. Who wants to answer the sixth question?
Me, sir.
Okay. Mirna, go ahead.
Okay, the answer number 6. The metal oxide MO is of basic in nature. It dissolves in
Okay.
water to form metal hydroxide as MO plus H2 menghasilkan MO2. Blue litmus
Okay.
does not undergo any change in the basic medium. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mirna Yuanita, for answering my question. So the reaction, I want to fix the reaction. So the reaction in the sixth question is MO plus H2O produce MOH2. So that is the reaction between the question number 6. All right. So, all right, class. After answering the exercise, I want to give you a homework. For your homework, please do this homework. Wait for a second. So, this is your homework. You can see it? Hello, students.
Yes, Mister.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr.
Can you see it? Okay, so for your homework, please do this homework, handing your with your work to next week. So I will give this paper to shift the class after closing this class. So there are about, I think it's about 10 questions to enhance your knowledge about the characteristic properties of acid and bases. So please do your homework clearly, correctly to give a best score. Okay, understood, students?
Understood,
Yes,
Mister.
understood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, can anybody make a conclusion of our lesson about identify acid and bases today?
Lila, Mister.
Okay, Lila. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Mister. Acid. An acid is a substance that releases H+ ions in an aqueous solution. And base
Okay.
is a substance that releases hydroxide or amine ion in aqueous solution. Okay, Mister.
Okay, thank you so much, Lila, for giving a conclusion about material today. So, who wants to give another conclusion in our material today? Any other? Nobody? Okay.
No, Mister.
Any other question before closing this
No,
lesson today?
no, Mister.
No, sir.
Any other question? No? Okay,
No,
thank you so
Mister.
much for entering this class. Don't forget about your project to identify the characteristic properties of acid and bases using universal indicator paper, and then don't forget about your homework. Okay. Thank you so much, class, for entering this class. I think we have done our discussion today. I hope you enjoy this lesson. So,
Yes,
Lila,
Mister.
can you close this
Yes.
lesson today to lead the prayer,
Okay,
please?
Mister. Before. Okay, Mister. Before we ending this lesson, let's pray together. Finish.
Lila,
Yes, Mister.
hello, Lila. Will you lead the prayer,
Yes.
please?
Yes.
Much. Class for entry K2. Good morning, class. Okay, I'll catch you later in the next
Morning.
meeting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. Give it thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe this channel. I can't wait to show you in another video. Cheerio.